thank you everybody for coming out here today. Signatures were just made available late last week, and we have roughly 2 months to get about 100,000 signatures, is it?
Yep.
So we've got about 2 months to get roughly 100,000 signatures. So they certainly don't make it easy. So having everybody out here today, you know, we want to do a couple things. Create some awareness. There's thousands of cars coming up and down here right now, seeing everybody. We've got Marty right over here who has papers. So not only grab one, not only grab two, grab about 40 or 50 and give them out to your friends and families and take them, because it's a huge undertaking to get these signatures. Everyone knows why we're here. We're here to repeal the gas tax, and not only that, we're here to repeal adding it to the cost of inflation. So we'll go into some of the state reps who voted the right way on this, fortunately, and they can give us some more information. Definitely more than I can, but essentially the state legislature decided to increase the gas tax by 3 cents and then automatically increase it every year. So next year during the election season, the gas tax isn't on them, the increase isn't on them, it goes up automatically. Year after that, goes up automatically, and it keeps going up. And they figured out a way for it to go up year after year after year without them voting on it. So it is not the bravest thing in the world to do, let's leave it at that. And not only are they only making it go up, but it's my understanding, and these gentlemen will correct me, if there's actually deflation for whatever reason, the gas tax does not go down, that is correct?
There's a bottom at what
it can't go down, so they made a way where it only goes up and up and up, and if for some reason there's any deflation, it actually will not go down. So they actually made sure that it only goes up every year without being held accountable for your vote, to the vote. So thank you guys so much for coming out here. We've got 2 state reps here who can give you some more information about this. So the first person I'd like to pass it off to is Rep. Jeff Deal from Whitman. Jeff Deal, guys, thank you.
Hey, hold this one too.
I'll get this one. I'll use. Oh, same hand. There you go.
All right, there you go. Now, this is awkward, but that's okay.
Hopefully this works. All right, thanks everybody for coming out. I'm going to give you 3 easy reasons that you can explain to everybody why we need to repeal this gas tax linkage to CPI, okay? 3 simple reasons. And Representative Quiros and I were there when they voted this in. We debated all day to a house, an empty house. If you ever see C-SPAN where you see a congressman talking to an empty house, that was what we were doing. Talking to an empty house of representatives that didn't want to hear the valid reasons why this should not have passed. So now it's up to us as activists to take part in this ballot initiative to make sure this gets on the ballot so people know and can repeal this gas tax linkage to CPI. And real quickly, I'm Jeff Deal from Whitman, home of the Toll House Cookie, all right? We're celebrating the 75th anniversary next year. Yeah, I know everybody here is into Michelle Obama's healthy initiatives, but please next year take a break and eat a lot of Toll House cookies. That'll really help for my town. All right. But seriously though, I was just like everybody here in 2010. I was on the finance committee of my local town working. My wife and I both work. We have 2 daughters, 11 and 7, and the state legislature passed the sales tax increase, 25% increase to 6 1/4. I said that's wrong. We already had the funds. We were cutting money to our towns. I said that was wrong, so I decided to run for office. I got in, and now the legislature's back at it again, picking our pocket, okay? And so let me give you those 3 reasons as to why we should never have increased the gas tax the way we've done it, okay? The first is the legislature, my colleagues, took themselves off the hook by making this an annual and automatic increase each year after the 2014 election so that people don't know what happens in 14. In 15, their taxes are going to go up, and from then on, it'll be increasing annually forever. So it's taxation without representation, because those representatives will never have to vote on this again. It'll just automatically go up. Second reason that we should never have voted for this is we already had the revenue. The state finished fiscal year 13 with $627 million more than they expected to bring in. And we raised taxes $500 million. We didn't have to raise taxes $1. In fact, we should have refunded money to the residents. But they rose taxes. And just to give you, if people say, no, well, that was last year. The first 2 months of fiscal year 14, which are July and August, have reported $140 million above what they expected to bring in again. So they're already almost close. You know, they're on track basically to bring in way more than we ever needed. We did not have to vote for this increase because we already had the revenue. And the third reason that we need to sink this is because linking it to CPI, as Matt said, linking it to CPI means it's going to automatically go up every year. Consumer price index factors in the cost of food and other things, but also the cost of gas. So as CPI goes up, the cost of gas will go up in Massachusetts because we linked it. And as gas goes up, CPI will go up. Well, if CPI goes up, gas is going up. You can see what's going on here. It's an annual automatic increase that will never end. So there's 3 good reasons. We've got to make our representatives vote whenever they want to raise taxes. 2, we didn't need the money. And 3, this is a spiral upwards of cost to consumers. And let me tell you who it affects. It affects moms and dads bringing their kids to and from activities after school. It affects the school districts themselves. We tried to vote to have school districts exempt from gas tax, the gas tax. This state won't exempt school districts from the gas tax. And so now school districts who have to bus kids every day are going to be paying that much more, and they're already underfunding our schools to begin with. So this is going to be more hits to our schools, more hits to our towns who have municipal vehicles to fuel up, but again, it goes to the taxpayer. It's all passed on to the taxpayer through our property taxes and through what we pay at the pump. People trying to just get to and from work every day are going to be squeezed more and more in a state that continually tries to find new ways to soak us. And so let's say no to this gas tax increase linked to CPI. Thank you so much for coming out to show your support. Getting signatures is the next step to get it on the ballot. And in 2014, we are going to repeal this. You know what? Let me just turn it directly over to my representative, my colleague Kevin Kuros, who can tell you a lot more about this as well.
Good afternoon, everybody. How's everybody feeling about this? Boo, a big boo. I am here today because in the legislature, I feel like I witnessed a crime occur when this bill passed. If you think about what happened there, Representative Deal mentioned, we're talking about taxation without representation. That is exactly what happened there. You know, I'm of a strong mind that if you want to make the case that we need to increase taxes, you submit a bill. You argue it before the House. And if 51% of your colleagues agree with you, then you're right. You've been proven to be right that we need the revenue and the tax passes. That will never happen again as far as the gas tax is concerned. It's bad government, it's bad policy, and we need to fix it. Now, many of you may have been following the issue of the tech tax, which was also passed as part of this same bill. This bill included a $1 a pack increase in cigarettes, 3 cents per gallon in gasoline tied to inflation, and also the technology tax. There was such an outrage and an uproar over applying the state sales tax to computer consulting services that we just learned after fighting this battle vigilantly for the last several weeks, that when we come back into session next week, we're going to be repealing the tech tax and making it retroactive and getting that off the books. Okay. By getting involved in this issue, we can force that to happen as well for the gas tax being linked to inflation. It doesn't look like the legislature is going to voluntarily back the gas tax out, as they did with the tech tax. So we need to send a message, and the way you send that message is you pick up a form, you go to your neighbors, you hang out outside the grocery store in your town, you talk to your friends and family and relatives, and you get as many signatures on there as possible. Very important. The threshold is it 67,000 signatures? 67,000 certified signatures. If you figure, 2 out of 3 will probably be certified. We want to collect over 100,000 signatures to make sure that we have a big enough cushion so that anyone's that are thrown out, invalid voter, they can't read the name, whatever the case may be. Because this needs to be on the ballot so that we can repeal this tax, just like we'll be repealing the tech tax in a couple of weeks here. So with that, get out there, grab some sheets. You can't start soon enough to work on this. Thank you so much. Matt.
Thank you, Kevin.
All right, guys, so Kevin sort of went into what we have to do. We need signatures, over 100,000 probably. What they do is they take them to towns and cities, they certify them, then you bring them to the Secretary of State, and then they certify them, and then hopefully we're on the ballot. So we need about 100,000 signatures. So it's not necessarily you guys just grabbing 1 or 2 sheets and filling out 20 or 30 names. We need sheets by the 1,000. I think, Des, you got 2,000 already, was it?
Yeah, I got 12.
So Des has 1,200 signatures already, guys. Clap it up for Des, 1,200.
98,000.
Yeah, so we've only got 98,000 left. So we need to make sure, we may need a town captain. So if you're from, say, Southborough and you have 10 friends in Southborough, grab 30 forms and give them to them. We need to make sure this happens. It doesn't look like they'll repeal it like they will the tech tax, so we need to bring this to the ballot box next November, and the first step is getting on the ballot. We'd hate to wind up 1,000 signatures, 500 signatures short. Can you imagine what would happen if we had 99,000 signatures and we ended up 200 or 300 short? We can't do that. So please come up here, please leave your contact information, and please grab a lot of sheets. It's very important that we do that, guys. So wrapping up, I want to thank everybody for coming out here tonight. I think it was a great event. We can still hang out for a while, and I do have a shameless